Stampers. Good morning. Good morning. I am going to start a quick series of the cards that we did this past Saturday at our flowering cactus class. It was a super fun class, cute stamp set, a super cute stamp set. Here it is. And this way you guys can see what cards we made, and if you want to make these cards, you sure can, and you've got time to get your orders in to get the medley that they have. The medley is super cute. Here it is, and it is the medley will come with the stamp set, the dies, and you'll see the dies as we're using them. It comes with your DSP, some cute cutouts, some super cute felt flowers that you can put on the sides of your cactus, and some twine. So it comes with everything except for the cardstock that you're going to need. So the medley is only available for just a few more weeks. So I would not miss out on this. This was not one of those stamp sets that I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this stamp set. But you know, once I started working with it, I had an absolute blast. So let's go ahead and get started on card number 1. Card number 1 was one of our slimline cards. I am having an absolute blast with these slimlines. The fun part about them is it gives you just a very small working area. So if you have somebody that you want to make a quick card for, you just want to put a sentiment and maybe like a large flower or just something quick, these go together great. It's going to use a 6x6 piece of cardstock. It is more of a money saver is if you use the 12x12 cardstock and cut it down to 6x6 versus using one sheet of 8.5 by 11. But if you need one card, it's okay. But if you wanted to make up several of these, using your 6x6 cardstock is definitely the best. Or not 6x6, I'm sorry, 12x12 cardstock. It's the best. You can get 4 cards out of one. We're going to cut our DSP down to 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then we've got a piece of basic white cardstock for the front. And this one is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. So that is, and then it just uses a regular letter size envelope. So that's another kind of fun thing is you can get these at like the Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Walmart or any of your big box stores. Just a regular size letter envelope. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here was the card. This was the first one. And so we've got our 6x6. You're going to score it at 3, which is going to be just right in half and fold in half. And let's just adhere the DSP. Again, this DSP is at 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. And let's adhere this to the front. And of course, you grab a tape runner that is empty. All right. So let's adhere that right to the front there. Okay. Move that out of the way. Let's take this piece. This is our basic white piece. And it is going to be the 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. Got our baby boss or cut and emboss machine from Stampin' Up. I love the little baby. It's a nice size for these smaller pieces. we're going to take this die out of here, and this is kind of like a like an embossing kind of die. It really doesn't like cut it out, and I'm sure that it would cut off the ends if we used a smaller piece, but we're going to emboss this on the front of our card. So let's set up our plates, and we're going to put this right at the end, or at the edge, I guess I would say, and in the middle as close as we can. And if you want to measure it out to get it precise, you go right ahead. I don't even think it's going to be noticed. And run it through. So ignore the shaking of the camera. Okay. Move that out of our way for now. Move our plates. Take this off and see how that embossed that. Isn't it cute? I'm off a little bit, but you know what? We're going to put that big old bow right there, so it is going to be fine. I'm not going to worry about it. But it completely embossed all the way through. Nice little texture moment. We're going to use this stamp set, or this stamp right there. We're going to use this stamp right here. And I call it the little short cactus. And we're going to ink full. Ink full. Then we're going to kind of stamp again to kind of give it, why is it not? There we go. And then I'm going to ink full again. I'm kind of going to go right about here. And then stamp again. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp off to get rid of some ink. And then I'm going to stamp again right there. So that kind of gives me my 5. I've kind of got them going different levels. Then in here, there is also a little shadow stamp. Put it on a block. And I'm going to use crumb cake ink. Just to cast a shadow. And just kind of stamp right underneath each one of those. Just so it's casting a shadow. Duh. Okay. There's that. So the front, that part is almost done. We're going to take the twine, and I'm going to be using the Calypso Coral twine. I just added mine onto a spool to help make it easier and more manageable for me. And I'm going to wrap that around about 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Get my scissors and cut off. Lay it flat here, and I'm going to tie a knot right here. Okay, so there is that one. So see, you already cannot tell that we're off center from our embossing. But the other part is I'm going to take that same Calypso Coral and I'm going to wind it around 3 fingers, about 3 times. And and cut it again. I'm going to gather it and I'm going to tie a knot. And just one is sufficient. And then I'm just going to spread those apart. I'm going to take this piece so it's not sticking straight out, and I'm going to cut it kind of close. There we go. And I'm going to glue that right there. I'm also going to cut these down low. Spread these apart. There we go. Just like that. So that's going to be that little knot. So let me go ahead and attach this onto the front of my card. Now you could use some dimensionals if you wanted. And then I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to add just a small little dot of glue. And I'm just going to lay my bow right on top of there. I'm going to let that dry for a couple of minutes while I do the next step. So the next step is taking a piece of a basic white scrap. I'm going to take this little flower that's right here. It is attached. And it's attached because it's got a matching die that's going to go right over to make it nice and easy for us to cut it out. So let me get my block, my Calypso Coral ink, and I am going to stamp it 3 times. One. All right, we're going to go back to our little baby boss here. Get our plates. And these will lay right over there. And cut those out. We are back. All of our little pieces are cut. This is actually dry. We're good. Now we're going to take our little mini dimensionals and add it to the back of each one of these little flowers. And then now we're just going to randomly place these on our little cacti. And like this one, I've got a small little stamping where I had a small stamp mishap. I'm just kind of covering some of that up so it will never be noticed. And there we go. And then you can add your sentiment to the front, or we can do the inside, which let me show you how to do the inside. I'm going to take our 5 3/4 piece by 2 3/4 Mossy Meadow ink with our little stamp, the little cactus stamp. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp again without re-inking, and then I'm going to stamp one more time without re-inking. And then one last time, I'm going to put those little shadows with the crumb cake ink. And I'm just going to put those little shadows right underneath them. There we go. Adhere this into, so you can see I messed up. Good thing there's two sides to every paper. And adhere that in. And there is card number 1. So stinking cute. All right, on to card number 2.